Tom King offers years of experience as a certified specialist for Napa Collision Centers. His hours are Monday through Friday from 8 until 5 o'clock. For a free estimate, stop by or call him at 634-9296. Quality service that you can trust with an honest and fair price. Tom King's Collision Center in Neon. Call 634-9296 for a free estimate.
I'm Tom King, and I approve this message.
I'm Kevin Hall, proud owner and funeral director of Holland Jones Funeral Home, Jenkins Chapel. We're happy to be a part of Letcher County, and I'd like to take just a few minutes to show you all the renovations that we have done here at the new Holland Jones Funeral Home, Jenkins Chapel. As you can see, here's our beautiful renovated chapel that we have. We've added new lighting, new windows, carpet, chairs, piano. The entire place has been renovated from top to bottom with quality products. Careful planning went into every detail of the renovation here at Holland Jones Funeral Home, Jenkins Chapel, to make sure that your family is as comfortable as they can be. We've added a full lounge area so your family can bring in snacks, coffee, drinks, so they can feel as comfortable as possible during the funeral services. So I'd like to encourage you and your family, feel free to stop by the Holland Jones Funeral Home, Jenkins Chapel at any time, and we'll be happy to show you around. We offer full service funerals, cremation, pre-need funeral plans to save your family with peace of mind. Also, we've got one of the largest parking lots for here in the area. So give us a call and stop by. We'll be looking for you.
Alrighty, I want to welcome everybody to the April 6th regular City Council meeting 2026. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Ernestine.
Here.
Chuck.
Here.
Sean. Rick. Quinn.
Here.
Garnet.
Here. Alrighty, Chuck, will you lead us in prayer, please?
Heavenly Father, we're just thankful to be able to gather here tonight. And Lord, as we discuss the business of our city, we pray that we do so according to your will. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Now will you join me in the pledge? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty, in your package you've got the minutes from the March meeting. I entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Having a motion and second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Okay, also the financial report is in the packet.
I'll make a motion to approve the financial report as presented.
I'll second.
Already having a motion, second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Alrighty. That's got us down to Donna.
Like always, I've been doing the cover sheet for your all's projects. The ones that are in purple are fully funded projects. The ones in blue are partially funded, and black we're seeking funding for. I'll give you an update on some of them. The revitalization and resiliency plan, we actually had that kickoff meeting last week, I believe. So that one's getting started. Your Jenkins City Hall, that closeout meeting should be within 2 weeks or so. Your Jenkins wastewater treatment plant improvement project, it'll actually be starting pretty soon. We actually have some of the design to be approved this evening. I got some good news on your I&I Phase 2. It's actually been called for a full ARC application, so we'll be doing that for you all. And your Jenkins wastewater treatment plant capacity expansion, we have been seeking funding for it. We've submitted an EDA, we're submitting an EDA for it, and we already submitted an antler for it for this round. So, and that's all I have. I won't steal Harold's thunder too bad.
You've already gone.
Alrighty. Harold, if you ain't got nothing,
I will say the wastewater treatment plant, the designs are about 80% done. And so hopefully we will get that one on before long.
and I think we've got a pay requisition for you all. Yes, the wastewater treatment for improvements, 49% of the work being done, it's $79,030, I think. It's fully funded.
Need a motion on that?
Yeah, I need a motion to approve that.
I'll make a motion, we pay that invoice. I'll say.
Got a motion and second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Now while we're paying bills, got a requisition from DCMC. It's for $27,730.53. That's fully funded. That's their administrator in that grant.
I'll make a motion, we approve payment of requisitions 50 to number 7.
I'll second it.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right, now Josh, tell us about 10X Systems.
10X Systems is a full CAD system where we can receive calls, run polls, fill our computers in our cruisers without having to tie up any radio traffic. So say for instance, the sheriff's office is on a complaint and they call for backup. We can get on the computer, it's all in real time. We can look and see where they're at and put ourselves in route without having to get on the radio and tie up maybe any traffic that they might need to get out there. It'll also help us, instead of having to be on the radio the whole time while we run tags, insurance, anything of that nature, it'll all be straight to our computer in our cars. Say our radios have been in and out here lately, I don't know what's wrong with them. But if something ever happened and the radio system just went completely out, we would be able to still receive emergency calls straight to our computers.
And what are you talking about, CAD? That's computer assisted dispatch.
Yes.
So that's what Post does.
Yeah.
So they put one in all the cars?
Yeah, so they can mark up on it and they can add to it. If they want to add to whatever's disposition they got, what they found. They can put notes in there if it hits them in court. We've got the money to pay for that. But we've got a couple policies that Randall needs to read the overview of the policies that we need to approve the policies that they have to follow when they do this. For them to be certified to use it.
So, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So the policy manual is 38 pages long, and I'm going to read every word of it. We do have a summary here, and so I will just read the caption headings, and council will then vote. Kentucky State Police link/NCIC IT security policy, a guide for CJIS security compliance, Jenkins Police Department. In general, our agency relies on link/NCIC as an essential tool in daily operations. This system enables officers to swiftly access records, conduct inquiries, and communicate with the broader criminal justice community. The real-time information provided by link/NCIC enhances our ability to respond to incidences, effectively ensuring a safer environment for both the public and our officers. As custodians of this powerful resource, we are committed to upholding the highest standards of the data security and accuracy to maintain the integrity of the criminal justice system. For purposes of this policy, the agency refers to Jenkins Police Department. Procedures included in this policy: number one, CJIS, LINK, NCIC, NLETS systems. Number two, auditing and accountability. Number three, incident response. Number four, identification and authentication. Number five, configuration management. Number six, media protection. Number seven, personnel security. Number eight, systems and information integrity. Number nine, access control. Number 10, awareness and training. And number 11, physical protection. Those are all stated in detail in the full manual of 38 pages. That's all.
All righty, I need a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. And the state uses this, and I think it'll be a good thing. It'll help them get after a lot of stuff. All right, Dave Chalmers, you want to talk about this?
Yes, sir. Where there's no vision, the people perish. That's the Bible, and I believe that Jenkins has absolutely the great vision. This is a beautiful area that we have. On April 11th, we're going to have a special dedication up on the hill that's celebrating the 250th founding of our nation. We have people coming from Texas, Missouri, South Carolina, of course Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, and our keynote speaker will be Rick Revel. Rick Revel is nationally known as George Washington persona, Davy Crockett, whatever. He's also just finished an album, and he's going to premiere a couple of these songs at a little place called Muscle Shoals. Home of Sweet Home, Alabama, and a few other songs. And Judge Kraft will be with us, and State Representative Whitaker. We have sent out a request, invitation to our senators, but we haven't got a confirmation yet. But the whole idea is to celebrate God, our country, family, and our veterans. We'll have JROTC up there. And this is our invitation to you all. Come on up. 11:30 to 12, Caleb Howard will be performing, and Caleb is probably one of the best kept secrets in Letcher County, if not Kentucky. He has traveled to India preaching the gospel, and he's traveled to the Philippines. He just came back from St. Augustine, has a church in Dry Fork, and he's a recording artist. And he's going to perform for half an hour, and then we'll begin our program. So we just want to invite you. And also, if I may, Mr. Tackett, we have just finished a book. And when I say finished, it's a work in progress, and that if we find more information, I kept a copyright that we can keep adding. This is called The History of Pound Gap, The Place of the Sounding. And someone said, what's that place of the sounding? Well, when Daniel Boone came through here, he called it Sounding Gap. He got that from his captor that called it the place of the sounding, because the noise up there, that 7 to 14 foot gap that came through there, you could hear it all over the place. But I want to present this to you all as a copy, and that way you can look at it. And my hopes are is to get the picture that this young lady has done phenomenal pictures of the gap in the fall, and that would really brighten, it would make this book. But that's something I'm working on. So we just want to invite you to come up and be at Pound Gap. We do have LKLP providing shuttle service because, limited space. Mrs. Matthews gave us permission to use the area that she owns up there for parking, and then we have overflow hopefully at the Wise side, and then the David Combs area. And we were also wondering, and inquiring, Binky does a wonderful job up there, and we was wondering, could we get that area mowed before Friday? And
I'll see. If you call me Monday, probably, but I'll check and see.
I'm sorry, sir, I haven't heard anything.
I said I'll check and see.
Okay, well, I appreciate it.
We'll try our best.
Yeah. But thank you all so much. I just want to mention that. I'll give this book to you all, keep it, look it over. That's all I have, and I need to get down to the museum and do a couple of things down there. But thank you all for what you do.
Thank you, Dave. Sounds like a fun day. Okay, now the telecommunications ordinance second read. You ready, Randy?
Second reading.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I hope you can come up and join us in the church. Security up there and help.
This will be the second and final reading of the telecommunications franchise ordinance. If the council recalls, we did an abbreviated reading, since likewise this ordinance is 29 pages long. And so this will be the second reading. Commonwealth of Kentucky, City of Jenkins, Kentucky, ordinance number 265, an ordinance relating to the City of Jenkins, Kentucky, creating a franchise for the operation and maintenance of a telecommunications bridge, non-cable closed bridge system in Jenkins, Kentucky, setting forth conditions accompanying the grant of franchise and providing for the regulation and use of said system. Whereas the City of Jenkins, Kentucky is authorized and empowered to award telecommunication franchises. And whereas the City of Jenkins, Kentucky has found and determined that the construction, operation, maintenance, and utilization of a telecommunication franchise over, across, or under public right-of-way in the City of Jenkins benefits the citizens it serves. And whereas in order to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of Jenkins, Kentucky, to protect and preserve the city's public right-of-way and infrastructure, and to provide for the orderly administration of the franchise contemplated herein, it is necessary and appropriate to require the successful franchisee to conduct its business and operation in a lawful manner, compliant with the terms and conditions set forth herein below. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Jenkins, Commonwealth of Kentucky, as follows. Article 1. That this ordinance be and hereby is adopted as the quote telecommunications ordinance end quote for the City of Jenkins, Kentucky, friends hereinafter referred to as quote franchise ordinance end quote or quote franchise end quote or quote ordinance end quote close friends. Under the headings, Section 1 is creation of the franchise. Section 2, existing legislation. Section 3 is definitions. Section 4 is applications. Section 5 is rights under the franchise. Section 6 is standards. Section 7 is moving permits and tree trimming. Section 8 is bonds. Section 9 is indemnification. Section 10 is insurance. Section 11 is non-discrimination and affirmative action. Section 13 is franchise duration. Section 14 is penalties. Section 15, maintenance of telecommunications systems. Section 16 is right to terminate and cancel the franchise. Section 17 is foreclosure or other judicial sale. Section 18 is government's rights after the appointment of a receiver or trustee. Section 19 is advertising for bids. Section 20 is the bid process. Section 21 is compensation. Section 22 is additional requirements. Section 23 is letter of credit and performance bond. Section 24 is discontinuing use of facilities. Excuse me. Section 25 is offers of payment. Section 26 is forfeiture. Section 27 is governing law. Section 28 is non-enforcement by the government. Section 30, third parties. Section 31, resolution of inconsistencies with federal or state rules, regulations, or laws. Section 32, relief from the ordinance. Section 33, aesthetic standards. Article 2 of the ordinance, all ordinances or parts thereof in conflict herewith are to the extent of such conflict hereby repealed. Article 3, that the statements set forth in the preamble to this ordinance are hereby incorporated in this ordinance by reference. The same is set forth at length herein. Article 4, the provisions of this ordinance are severable, and the invalidity of any provision of this ordinance shall not affect the validity of any other provision thereof, and such provisions shall remain in full force and effect so long as they remain valid in the absence of those provisions determined to be invalid. Article 5, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its adoption and publication provided by law. Adopted this blank day of blank 2026. First reading, the blank day of blank 2026. Second reading, the blank day of blank 2026. Calling for council vote yes and no. Signature line mayor, attestation clerk.
Already, that's the second read. Do I hear a motion to approve the communications ordinance as read?
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All righty. That's got us down to the important people in the room. Charlie, you and Chris want to go over what we need to do tonight?
Can we set this so that everybody can see it?
Here, Jeremy can get it too.
This.
Everybody's waiting to see.
Well, thanks everybody for having us tonight. We're with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. My name is Chris James and this is Charlie Dell. We're from the Pikeville office there with the Department of Highways, and we wanted to talk to you tonight about the Grandview High Ground project. This is something that's been in the works now for probably a good amount of time, probably over a year now at least, that everybody wants to see. I think this is something that the community's really been interested in seeing progress on, and if you've driven by the site here recently, you can start to see some action really taking place. The trees are coming down on the property, and we're getting close to actually having this project let to construction. What you see here on the display board is the access road to the project. The project is actually in two different phases. The access road, and Charlie is the project manager on the access road, and then there's the housing development portion that's just off the side of the map, and I'm the project manager on that. So with that, Charlie, I'm going to turn that over to you and let you talk about the access road.
Sure.
And then we'll get into the purpose of why we've come here tonight.
Sure. As you can kind of see on this map, as I've written also preliminary subject to change, there may still be some further minor corrections by our right-of-way section. The existing road starts where the old mine entrance road is and where it currently is today off of US 23. It gradually, this is the center line, it gradually climbs up the mountain to the south, and once it gets to the top of the hill, takes a loop back, travels along where the existing flat area is now, and cuts across where the current entrance road is currently located now at the top of the hill, and comes out here and on toward the property development area. What you see off here, just to the right, is the lots being built. As Chris mentioned earlier, this is really two projects, but we're hoping to let both at the same time under one contractor to kind of help things speed along with coordination and all that once construction starts. What we have on this map here are three different colors. In light blue is actually the proposed right-of-way boundary. It's very wide through here because as you're coming up the hill, you're going to have a cut into the hill. Through solid rock, it's kind of a somewhat steeper slope at 2 to 1, but once it hits that mine spoil area, we have to flatten it out to make sure that really there aren't future incidences where rock may be falling down and constructing access on the road. So it's kind of wide as it's coming up the hill, gets narrow once we get up on top. The red are permanent easements for utilities, things like water lines. If there's going to be a sidewalk up there in the future, you'll want to maintain a permanent easement to be able to do that. This is an easement. We're relocating the gas line that's currently going across the hill now. It's coming down the hill to our existing right-of-way on 23, and then going back up the hill again to tie in where it is currently. The green is temporary construction easements. They'll need it for slope stability and things like that, but once the construction work is done, it'll revert back to the Johnson brothers, who currently own the property. And that's really what's going on with this map. The reason we're here this afternoon is as part of the process, we would like to obtain your permission to purchase this right-of-way in the name of the City of Jenkins. And the thought process all along has been, we'll purchase it and then, transfer it to you. But purchasing it directly, and correct me if I'm wrong, right-of-way agent, but the purpose of doing this way is to save on some of the paperwork on the back end. If we go ahead and purchase it in your name, there's not going to be like the transfer paperwork process, whether that's surplus property or other applications. And we're just hoping to get your permission to do that.
The key thing is we're hoping to expedite the process not only of the initial acquisition of the right-of-way, but also in the future, if there's anything that has to happen to put the property in the city's name, this will already have that taken care of. So it really just takes KYTC essentially out of the process of the city acquiring the property. We would act as your agent. Our right-of-way department there at the district office, that's what we do on projects like this, is we go through the process of working with property owners and establishing right-of-way and easement lines like Charlie has described. But typically, that right-of-way is put into the name of the cabinet. Well, in this case, as our understanding is this road will be a city street, the city will be maintaining this in the future, there's really no reason for it to go into the name of the KYTC and then just have to actually transfer it at some point in the future.
So you're thinking of an MOU agreement?
Well, and that's a good question. I guess one of the reasons we came tonight was we're trying to put this project out to a construction bid in May. That's our current goal right now. So we've been working with the property owners over the last couple of weeks trying to establish what the project impacts would be and what the right-of-way impacts would be. So we've got a short time fuse in order to get this acquisition taken care of. So We're not really sure the best avenue to do that with the city council, and honestly, that's one of the reasons we wanted to talk to you, I guess, is to find out how do we make this happen in a way that we can kind of make sure that we keep the project on track. Because if we have the project out for a bid by the end of, roughly by the probably early May is when the bids would be available to the contractors, then we've got to be preparing our information now. So we're trying to expedite this process, and we actually found out about the city council meeting, happenstance with the mayor, speaking to him today, where we probably would have already been reaching out to you. So it's very short notice, obviously, but we're looking for your help on how to make this happen as quickly as possible.
Well, it is short notice. This is a big decision for the city.
I'm in no way opposed. But I'm looking at the liability part of that. And if something happens in the meantime, the city is held liable.
You mean after construction of the project?
Yes. During construction.
Oh, during construction. As far as liable,
I think it's on the contractor, isn't it?
I would think so. I mean, the road would not be open to the public, during the process of construction. So the contractor would have kind of oversight over what's happening out there. So like if we were to run into conditions that we don't expect as far as rock quality or anything like that, that's something that our construction, we'll still have our KYTC construction folks involved overseeing construction. So we're not actually transferring any kind of responsibility for the construction phase. This is actually once the project is over. Initially, it's about the right-of-way ownership, but ultimately the goal is to have the property and the road in the name of the city as a whole.
Mayor, I work closely with local council over there at Piketon. I think an MOU is the way to go. That's just an agreement that you all make, setting out rights and duties on both sides. What you might want to do, since we don't have a lot of time to do this next month, is maybe appoint a committee of maybe 2 members and yourself and me to negotiate with the state on, because what they're saying is, you're going to own this. It's going to be a city street once it's built. And so, with that comes a lot of responsibility, and you all need to balance that out with the convenience of what they're doing up there, which is fantastic, of course. But and then the committee could report back to the full council about how the terms and conditions are.
Well, in principle, I think they need to know tonight.
I don't think you need to agree tonight.
What do y'all think? I mean,
the only question I have that arose is who owes the responsibility?
There's 2 views on that, okay? If they're constructing it and there is an accident in the construction zone and it is caused by a failure to flag or some dangerous condition, that's on the contractor.
It's not held, the city's not held responsible.
No. But if there is an accident caused by some design problem, okay, that the curve's too steep or there's a drop off or whatever, and that's what you're sued on, then they would sue the state and the contractor. Well, in this case, they would sue the city and the contractor.
That was the question I had.
So, there could be liability just depending on how it occurred. And then, of course, I don't know the dimensions here, but this is going to be a big street that you all will have to keep snow and ice off of, and forever. So there's that. And
Chris, correct me if I'm wrong.
And then I'm sorry, go ahead.
So I was under the impression that this was going to go to Jenkins at some point anyway. This is just a matter of, do we purchase it in your name now?
It takes that step
or
out.
do we purchase it under our name and then transfer it to you later?
Right.
It saves all those deeds and stuff later on.
That's right. Yeah, there was never any intent for this to be a state-maintained highway going up to the site, but I can understand your concern, like during the construction.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I have a question about the flow of money. Okay, if you're going to acquire easements, right of entries and so forth, you're going to be buying those. So how does the flow of money come from the state through the city to the owners?
Well, our understanding, and we've been working with the property owners, the intent is for the right-of-way and the easements to be a donation. So we're working with the owners to make sure that they understand where the dimensions are and the limits of what the property would entail. There actually wouldn't be any fund transfer. There wouldn't be any payment to the property owner for this.
Okay. And my next question is, if the property is going to be titled in our name, we're going to own it, who has verified the owner and that they have the power to make a general warranty deed? We need to see that information to see if we're getting property that we would truly own, or is there some problem with it, or whatever. That's another thing you build into your MOU.
And we do have a title report on this property, so that has been already established, so that's something that we can get to you, I believe.
Now, another thing.
Yeah. That's why you're sitting there.
Many times the state negotiates temporary easements. Would you be putting that in the city's name? Temporary construction easements?
Yeah, essentially any of the right-of-way acquisition itself would be going into the city's name.
All right. Construction easements are a contract with the landowner that the state says, okay, we're tearing down this row of bushes. We'll put them back after the construction. We're going to temporarily borrow this section of land, and in the construction we got to use it for some reason. Then when we're done, though, we don't want to own it forever. We want to give it back to you. Well, the landowner might have a lot of conditions he wants you to do to his property before you give it back. Sure. That would be obligations that you all would have to live with. You would have to do. Now, of course, you want the state to do it, but somebody is making promises to these landowners that you need to be aware of.
Well,
even if the state's
Yeah, it's
Correct.
And that's a really good point, and as part of our process, we have something called a CAP, Communicate All Promises. So as a part of our right-of-way negotiation and project management, what we do is we work with property owners, not just on this project, but any project really. If there is a particular concern like a row of bushes, a tree in the yard, maybe a driveway, then we basically make a promise to that property owner, and that basically everyone involved with the transfer is aware of that. Then we communicate that to our contractors to make sure that it's not just a promise made up front in project development, but that it's carried out in construction. So we've not actually finalized all of the issues. Just like Charlie said, the drawing there is a preliminary subject to change. We've been working with them over the last couple of weeks. We fully expect there to be additional things that we have to address with the property owners, but anything like that we would put into our CAP notes, the Communicate All Promises. And so if the city is
if I'm not mistaken, the CAP notes are also listed in the right-of-way documentation also.
Yeah, on the memorandum of understanding that Randy's talking about, the MOU.
Yeah.
That's the contract.
And we can make the city aware of any kind of stipulations, because obviously we're doing this as an agent of the city to do this acquisition. So we don't want to make a promise and then you're not aware of what's going to be involved with fulfilling that promise.
But to take that thought further, you as our agent will be making promises we have to live with.
True.
And pay for if that promise is broken. So the MOU would cover that and say, no, the city's relieved from those promises. The state would be liable for those promises unfulfilled. Because we all know that there's a big gap between promises made by the state and the contractor. The contractor might be given those instructions, but it's been my experience that their job is to get from point A to point B as fast as they can, as cheap as they can. And if somebody says, you gotta restore my septic tank over here, sometimes they forget that. So I'm just saying a lot of information needs to be put in an agreement and not just, and if you're still drawing plans, how are you gonna let this out in May?
That is a challenge that we're working through right now.
It becomes our challenge too.
Well, and that's true, obviously, and that's why we want to work with everyone involved here. Today was the final date of actually having the final plan submitted. We have those in hand. When we say preliminary subject to change, we don't want to communicate that this drawing will never have any alterations to it. We want to make sure that you're aware of that. We're still having these conversations. We understand that this project has a short time frame in order to actually get it built. We want to have some site grading actually done, hopefully by the end of this calendar year. So, the ultimate goal with our projects like this, the high ground projects, is to see houses built up there. So when it comes to a construction season, you have a short window where you can actually get all this site grading done. That's where the May letting comes in. This isn't traditional, you're exactly right. This is a quicker turnaround to get the projects out there. But considering the type of project and the kind of the emphasis on seeing these completed, that's one of the reasons why we're trying our best to turn it around as quickly as we can.
What is your drop dead date? Do you have to have something from us? Because it obviously won't happen before our next council meeting. I mean, your date is going to be before our next council meeting. So
right.
Maybe if we can approve, say, a resolution that we will be okay as long as the MOU is approved by Randall and the group sometime before your drop dead date.
Right.
And we can all agree on that, because we all want this to happen.
Yeah, I think the community, everyone sees the value of a project like this.
And if we hold it up, I don't want to do that.
That's part of the reason why we came here tonight rather than wait until next month. It was, we think.
We actually went through something like this with the golf course housing development. How did we do that? They transferred the streets to the city back then.
And they wasn't finished.
But we haven't had any big major lawsuits or anything because of that.
Well, we have complaints though that they're not being serviced. But that was delivered after that was delivered after everything was built and laid off and all the utilities were in place, and then they handed us the streets.
Yeah.
And that was largely because TICO was not maintaining them, and they did a bad winter one year. I got a dozen complaints. Nobody plowed the streets, and that's really all they wanted, was the streets plowed. It wasn't curbs.
I just want the city to be open, eyes open on.
Well, that's going to be probably the best city street we've got, so it'll be easier to maintain than anything we've got. Look at Wheaton Hall, any street you name, that's going to be a lot easier to maintain. So I'm all for it. So whatever we need to do.
I don't want to hold them.
Do a resolution to say if the MOU is approved by Randall and the committee, then can we draft something like that, a resolution?
If that helps them move it forward, that's what we can do tonight.
I propose to do that. I don't know how we'll write it
I
up.
just wouldn't advise you to give them a blank check to
Right, not yet.
know what your reason.
Pending approval of MOU, so if we can word it some way like that to make a resolution that will fully support this project.
I don't care.
I'll be on it.
Well, the first two.
Okay.
And then you can get the MOU together and we'll come down and look at it.
But am I understanding you have to have our approval tonight?
Well, we know that.
We were worried that if we didn't get it tonight, we'd have to wait another month until the next city council meeting, and that would have been.
Well, I think with the discussion, we can make this happen, within the next, I don't know, it's up to Randall how.
Well, I mean, if we make a resolution tonight, and then pending approval of the MOU, that's all we can do, not make a resolution.
Yeah.
And that don't hold them up?
No.
What it allows us to do, it allows us to communicate to our right-of-way people in Frankfurt that the city is still looking at this, and they understand that it will be, we will be purchasing the right-of-way, and after all the agreements and languages are looking at, we're purchasing it in your name, and it'll go directly to you, rather than it coming to us and you having to pursue surplus property applications or acquisitions to get some of these easements for sidewalks or something else you might want up there. So
a lot of times those processes on our
I had a motion to do a resolution, what Rick just said.
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion and a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So do you, in that motion, you appointed your committee as well, or you
Yeah,
just
we
want to do that,
Gardner.
Mayor? Okay. I mean, the concept they've agreed to. So I can't imagine a deal breaker in the MOU, but we need to get it on paper, is all I'm saying.
I've never seen a right-of-way agreement that's listed in a small booklet. So you'll have plenty of information.
Well, you keep using the term purchase, and yet it's donated land, but
It's not really, it's acquired.
we just want to make sure we're not signing a blank check for money that we don't have, you know?
Yeah, and that's nowhere near our intent. It's our intent is essentially to lock up the property ownership and put it in the city's name to the satisfaction of everyone involved, especially in the time frame that we're trying to work through here.
But we've initially done that though, haven't we? How's it going?
And
I guess not for that road.
For the road.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is also how it's worked on the other high ground sites to date as well. They've kind of gone over to county entities and they're not within city limits, it's more of a county thing or something.
Yeah, like over in Knott County, I don't know if y'all have seen Chestnut Ridge out behind the Sportsplex.
Yeah.
That's essentially what's happening there. That road will be a county-maintained road through there. Olive Branch is another one. Honestly, it's almost the same stage as Grandview is here, and it's essentially going to be a county road as well. So this is essentially the concept we've been using at multiple sites like this. It's just the one thing that's different is we thought this would facilitate the transfer of the property better than we've done it in the past. So if we can go ahead and take one step out of it, 2, 3, 4 years from now, the property would already be in the city's name. So it wouldn't be dependent upon someone following up on some sort of transfer to make that happen.
So the resolution is passed, if you will, you may not use local council in your district, but try to identify to me, or have somebody contact me who's going to handle your side of the MOU.
Okay.
And we'll start working on it as soon as they do.
Okay. Yeah, we are attorney there in the office. His name's Stacy Elliott.
Yeah, I know Stacy.
And she's working on MOUs with other entities on other projects right now. So we should be able to come up with something, I believe, that's to the satisfaction of everyone.
All righty, man, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We will need a copy of the meeting minutes once they're prepared as well, just for our record.
April will get that to you tomorrow. You want to just email them to you?
Yes, that'll work. Thank you. Yeah.
You got anything tonight? No. Let me pick you out of the garage, I want to see what you get. All righty, council, got anything tonight?
Yes, I had contact me about the traffic going by the Bodine School and out through there, where they're coming from, they're loading their trucks at the rock quarry and absolutely flying through there. They're requesting more patrol,
What time of day?
It's different times of day, but a lot in the morning and just throughout the day. It's by the Bodine School, Rocky Hollow.
They go down Main Street here pretty fast in the mornings when they're empty.
I've got up with state and they are doing their motor vehicle enforcement more. They were out today. They got a couple. Plus I've contacted Rock Quarry about it, so they're aware that state's going to be up here too. So they got a couple this morning, but it's slowed down a little bit since they've been coming out.
They were also complaining about people just really going fast, really fast through there. And so it was trucks, it was everybody, So they were requesting more patrol through that area.
Well, Josh is working on a grant to get some of these radars. Looks just like a regular street sign. But if you go on the speed limit, it says thank you, and if you're not, it flashes red. So
They have those up at Wise now. On the
Maybe where I
north.
saw them.
Yeah, on the north road.
We got a roadblock stuff for
I'd never get a thank you.
Is there any issues with the roadblock for the dance cast?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, need a motion second.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
I got one thing with the, we got a first ever country music show is gonna happen at the amphitheater on May 2nd. So we're trying something different. Instead of play this year, we're gonna do shows and festivals and things like that. It's also open and available for weddings, other events. You can check out City Council. April can book it, or any of the festival or the Cumberland Mountain Arts Council members. The bands are going to be Dirt Famous, Neon Rain, and Pure and Simple. So it's going to be a good show. So we hope we can get a good crowd to come out, and if that one goes good, we'll have more. If not, that might kill it. But
You have
let's just,
food vendors and stuff like that?
we're going to try to get vendors. We've got possibly some, I won't mention any names, some beverage companies that may want to set up. And I'll talk to you about that.
Yeah, we can do that.
So yeah, it's for a first attempt at something like that there.
May
So
2nd.
May 2nd, it's going to start probably around 7. I don't have the exact times, but
Well, once y'all get a flyer together, get it to April so we can get it on Facebook and get people to share.
yeah, they're supposed to advertise it themselves, the bands are, and we're going to get it on our digital sign and start getting things ready up there. We still have a restaurant to complete, so working on that.
All right, Jim, what have you got?
The regional immigration customs enforcement special agent in charge has asked me to be on their task force. It's called 287G task force program. And I know that the state of the relationship with media and stuff with ICE, that's nothing like what he's having us do. He's asking that we do what's called a task force model, in which case how it works is if I come in contact, once we're trained, once I'm trained, it's a 40-hour course that you do online. Once I come in contact with somebody and I have probable cause to believe they may be here illegally, I can verify that. If they are charged with another crime, so for instance, a DUI, and I think this guy isn't here legally, now I've got the training and the authority to run him and check for his immigration status, and then what we do is we take him to our jail, and the ICE people from Louisville or Chicago, either one, whichever is handiest at that time, will give us an administrative warrant to where he will be then under arrest. The problem with that will be if they don't have a transport officer handy, we may have to take them to London ourselves. 2 hours away, no big deal, but we're getting somebody off the street that shouldn't be there. The benefits of it is we'll be eligible for $7,500 in equipment, $100,000 for vehicles. We get whatever salary. So for instance, if they call and say, hey Jim, we need you to come to Harlan and go help us do a raid, they will pay my salary while I'm gone. They'll pay the salary, the benefits, they'll pay the overtime and so on and so forth while I'm gone on that. So we don't actually own anything. I was asking what the catch is because it sounds pretty good. He says the basic catch that he sees is people automatically hear ICE and they think, oh great, here they go, they're going to start hitting everybody. That's not what we're to do. All I can do is if I get a crime and I have probable cause that they are here illegally, I can establish that and then they handle the rest. They handle all the prosecution and everything else. So the benefits for us is we get our foot in the door with other federal task force as well, which would be more money. So that stuff will help us out a lot. The ICE guy was very, very adamant that this is not something that they want us going to whatever. For example, let's say that they don't want us going up to the people who work at the Mexican restaurant and say, hey, I need all your green cards. That's not what we do.
So you're going to wait till they make a mistake before you do it?
Unfortunately, that's the way it works for us as local law enforcement. We can't just walk up to somebody and say, hey, I need to see your immigration status. Everybody has their own feelings about that, but my thought is, if that's another way to get somebody that's already committing crimes, that we've just caught them on a crime, and if that's something else we can use to hold them and keep them out of our country, I would say that'd be the thing for us to do. The thing is, though, like you said, we're very adamant about, we're not just going to go around and, everybody that comes through, we're going to say, hey, we need to see your status. Only if we have probable cause that we believe that they are not here legally and they've committed another crime, then we can do that. That way we don't have to wait for them. They don't go down to our jail for DUI and get back out on the road within a few hours. They actually have to go through a hearing and stuff like that in London. I did talk to the Laurel County Sheriff's Office. They've got like 9 vehicles already from this. They've done a few things where their deputies that are charged with this go help on some raids and stuff like that. They've got some really nice equipment and stuff, so it would benefit us, no doubt. So to me, that would be a good thing to do. The agent pretty much told me I could go ahead and do it on my own. I was like, no, we don't need that. I wanted to run it by Mayor and you all first. So that's just my idea, is I think it'll be good for us. It'll be some more income for our police department. It'll get some of these people off. We've been seeing all these stories in the media where somebody has been here illegally and deported 5,000 times and commits another crime. Well, if we catch them committing one crime now, plus we charge them with this, then maybe that'll keep them from hurting one of our family members or friends or something like that. So,
will the administrative warrant supersede your criminal warrant?
Not necessarily. That was the question I had too, was his thing is, we can work on that. We can say, okay, tell you what, we won't charge you with DUI as long as you do this and get, go through the federal government with him. So that's
what you're saying, and their warrant would.
Yeah, that would supersede. However, he says in some cases, Laurel County's had some people that had multiple crimes, and they wanted him charged there too, and they did it just simultaneously. So, but once they get done with let's say for whatever reason we want the guy for DUI, we want him to serve some time. Once he gets done with that, as soon as he's let out on whatever time he served, then he goes to federal court and they do the deportation or whatever they're going to do. So anyway, where we go from here, as long as y'all are of the understanding that this will be a good thing for us to do, I do a memorandum of understanding with them. I do the training, it's online training. I can do that at the house or here or whatever. I don't have to go anywhere. Only benefit or only negative I can see is just the negative media stuff right now about ICE, but that's just not what we're doing. And you don't hear much about negative stuff with ICE in Kentucky. However, we have been making a lot of arrests with them here in Kentucky. There's been a lot of stuff going on, so that's why they reached out to our agency.
Is this going to be in the form of a grant or just a...
Now, the vehicles and training stuff, those are all grants. Yeah, those are all grants. So
who's going to write the grants?
That would be through, my understanding is they will do that themselves. They've got their own set little template that they use. That's why I still, it sounds like it's really, what's the catch? And I keep getting told, well, it really isn't one. That's what Sheriff from Laurel County said. He said, I thought the same thing, there's a catch, but there's not. They basically do it. I guess, like John was saying, is they need help. And if they can get a hold of locals to come help, then they don't have to pay their own people to come from Louisville to Southeast Kentucky to do it. They can just get us to help them out. So that's where they get their benefit. We get the benefit of being eligible for these grants and training and stuff and equipment and stuff. So
I don't understand though. I understand when you pull somebody over for a DUI or something, and then you try to establish their identity. But what's this thing about raids? How you wouldn't go raid a bunch of DUI guys?
No, but like if they're doing, let's say they have some kind of business or something that they feel is they've got their probable cause for search warrants or whatever, we go help them out with that. We can be tasked to go help them.
Oh, you realize administrative warrants don't need probable cause.
Right. But his thing is the way and the way he explained it to me was they do this so that they set these parameters for us because they don't want people just getting mad and going into the Mexican restaurant because they're mad at one of the waiters for something and using that authority to go after them. So this way, they have to commit a criminal act first. And then we can, if we have probable cause, we can go through with that.
What's the council think? I'm all right with it if you all are.
Well, the only one question I have, we're running short staff anyhow. How much is that gonna pull you away from what, if we need you here?
No, only if there was a, let's say a transport I had to do or something, in which case I would get somebody else to cover. I mean, every time I take a day off, I don't leave the city uncovered. I always have somebody covering. So we would do it that way as well. So there will be somebody that will cover. If, for example, they say we need to do a search warrant in Pike County or something, the time I'm gone, I would have somebody else covering to make sure everything was good here. So we're not losing any coverage.
Did you say they will provide you with a vehicle?
No, we can get grants up to $100,000 for vehicles.
Okay. So if you had to transport someone, it would be in one of our cruisers?
Yeah, but they would pay for that. They would pay for it.
Well, that's our liability, you know.
Well, no more than any other transports would be. I mean,
is this through DHS or
through Immigration Customs Enforcement? Which I know they've changed some things around. They've got different agencies now working under DHS. At one time, like Secret Service was the Treasury Department. Now they're under DHS, and I'm not really exactly 100% sure where I should be right now. I think it is probably though under DHS.
Do I hear a motion?
I think if it doesn't interfere with your job here in the city and taking care of what has to be done here.
I think we can work it out. Prestonburg does this right now, and Laurel County Sheriff's Office does it.
I'll make that motion. Sheriff's Office here actually just started doing the same thing.
Yeah, and they're starting it up wise too, so.
And it's the way it's going to be for a while. And they may pass a law later on saying we have to do it, and we don't get none of the benefits of this grant.
Later on.
Yeah. I heard that's what's coming, so.
I'll make a motion.
That was one of the things he mentioned to me was it's coming anyway, and his thing was if you don't do it now, then you probably won't get the benefits later, but you still have to do it. So that was kind of his idea, was incentive for us.
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
Got a motion to hear a second? Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. There you go, Chief.
All right, I will get that MOU done with him, and then I'll let y'all know next council meeting what's going on with it and how we go about getting vehicles and all that good stuff. So.
Alrighty. I'm looking for that final motion.
Make a motion to adjourn.
All those in favor say bye.
Bye.
Thank y'all for coming.
Hello, Letcher County. My name is Kevin Hall, and I am the owner of the all-new Hall & Jones Funeral Home, Jenkins Chapel. We're here to provide you with honest, sincere service in your time of need. The people in Jenkins, McRoberts, and Fleming Neon, and Pound, Virginia, they're such hard-working people. They work with their hands their whole life. Many of you are UMWA members. My grandfather was a UMWA member, and I seen how wonderful they took care of my grandmother when something happened to my grandfather. With that same token, that's what we're here to do for you and your family, to take care of you. I invite you to stop by our funeral home, come in and visit with us, or give us a call at 606-821-2191.
Tom King offers years of experience as a certified specialist for Napa Collision Centers. His hours are Monday through Friday from 8 until 5 o'clock. For a free estimate, stop by or call him at 634-9296. Quality service that you can trust with an honest and fair price. Tom King's Collision Center in Neon. Call 634-9296 for a free estimate.
I'm Tom King, and I approve this message.
Hi, I'm State Representative Mitchum Addison Whitaker, and you're watching Jenkins Television, Channel 99.